This Black History Month is unique considering what's going on in the world right now. There are so many black people doing great things. When I was growing up, every February in school, we were required to write a Black History report on someone. Of course, the most popular options were always Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, and people of that nature. Some of my most famous reports were on George Washington Carver and Nelson Mandela. Little did I know I was living in the same house with a young girl who would become an African-American pioneer herself. That young girl grew up to be Angeline Geneva, founder of Angeline Geneva Consulting and co-owner of Boutex and Kitchen. Growing up, my sister Angie was always a major factor in my life. Our mom was a single mother who worked long hours, and a lot of times the responsibility of watching me fell to her. I could talk forever about the things she's done for me, but since I don't think you'll listen forever, I'll stick to the most memorable. As a high school senior, I had zero ambitions. Although I was a smart kid, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I hadn't applied to any universities or for financial aid. One day, my sister shows up at the door. She comes into my room and says, "Get dressed. Today is the day you enroll in college." She took me to Texas Southern University, her alma mater, and stayed with me through the entire application process. Of course, this was before you could do everything on the internet. A few years later, Angie was in the delivery room when my first child was born. My sister and I were very close, and I always respected her opinion. That's why when my bipolar disorder got out of control and my life began to spiral downward, she was the first call I made. My sister once again showed up at my house and said, "Get dressed." She said, "Today we're going to get you some help." She took me to a place that offered free mental health assistance. We filled out the application together, and I started getting treatment shortly after. I did well for a while, and then I slipped and stopped taking my medication. Months after, I ended up in the county jail. Guess who my first phone call went to? My sister came to the rescue again, but not without some choice words. She surprised me. No, she supported me through 2 years of house arrest and accompanied me to court for sentencing. After receiving 60 years, most people would have said my life was over, but not Angie. She reminded me that God still had a plan for me. She told me this test will be my testimony. Why am I telling you all this? My reason is simple. Black History Month is about celebrating African Americans who have made an impact in their family, their community, and the world. In my life, no one has made a larger impact than Angeline Geneva. She was my Tiana, who, like Disney's first black princess, went from a young black girl with a dream to owning her own restaurant. She was my Harriet Tubman, who came and led me to freedom from the bondage of my bipolar disorder. She was my Malcolm X, who came and got me out of jail by any means necessary. She was my Angela Davis, standing up for what was right regardless of the opposition. She was my Maya Angelou, her words inspiring me to write 2 books from prison. For me, Angeline is Black history in motion. I believe we should recognize history while it's happening. That's why this month I celebrate my big sister, my black queen, my hero, Angeline Geneva.